Hey boys and girls, Mr. Feld. It is Thursday morning, and first of three videos I'm going to share with you today, and um, on exponents. It's a little bit of a review. So at any time, if you feel like you are good with this information and you're feeling confident with it, feel free to skip ahead. You have three lessons for you. I'm going to walk through three sets of notes. I will post copies of the completed notes in your Google Drive today as well. Then you will have an assignment today on Edge Elastic. Be 10 questions, be fairly simple. So we're talking about Chapter 1, Lesson 2, or on powers and exponents. And just the first word you're going to hear a lot. The product of repeated factors can be expressed as a power. Okay, that is using an exponent and a base. Okay, so if we have, for example, we have 4 factors, right? If we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, instead of writing all that out, they've decided to math to make it easier and write it like that, right? In this case, the 2 is considered or called the base, right? And the base is it's the common factor, right? And that's the number that is multiplied, right? Then we also have this smaller number up here that you see, and this is the exponent, right? And the exponent tells us how many times the base is used as a factor. So essentially, the base is 2. The exponent 4 tells us how many times you multiply 2 by itself. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 would be 2, 2 to the power of 4. Okay. There's a few different ways we can read these. Okay. So if I have 3 with an exponent of 1, very, very rarely see that. And with the exponent of 1, we just leave the 1 off. It's just assumed, so it would just be 3. But you would say 3 to the power of 1. Okay. And the factors would be just a 3, right? If I have base of 3, exponent of 2, you have 3 to the second power, or more commonly you'll hear me say 3 squared. When your exponent is 2, you can say 3 squared. And that would be, the factors would be 3 times 3. One more, or 2 more here. If I have my base is 3, my exponent is 3, that means I can say 3 to the third power, or there's another way, we would say 3 cubed. And then our factors would be 3 times 3 times 3. So exponents of 2 would be squared, exponents of 3 would be cubed, anything else you'd say 3 to the 4th power, 3 to the 5th power, 3 to the 1st power, 3 to the 7th power, that sort of thing, so on. Okay. So here, in these examples down below, they ask us to write each expression using exponents, right? So essentially here, you're just counting the number of factors you have. So -2, how many factors of -2 do I have? Well, I have 3. Times, how many factors of 3 do I have? So it'd be -2 cubed times 3 to the 4th power. And the same thing with the bottom one. How many factors of A do I have? I have 2 times the number of factors of B, so I have 3, so A squared times B cubed. Okay, moving on. We'll try one more. We'll do one more example because I think these are fairly self-explanatory. So if I have, actually it's the same with fractions. So if you see a fraction, don't panic. So So again here, my factor is 1/2, right? And so my base is going to be 1/2. How many times do I use the factor 1/2? I use it 4 times. And when I write fractions like that, when my base is a fraction, I like to put the parentheses around it just to kind of separate, because the numbers are small like this. The numerator 1 is almost the same size as your exponent, so just to avoid any confusion, just use those parentheses. It makes everything a little more clear. Example 3, when it says evaluate, okay, evaluate, what does that mean? Well, basically, we're going to means solve, right, with an answer, right? So if I have -2/3 to the 4th power, what does that mean? Well, it means I have -2/3 times -2/3 times -2/3, and one more -2/3, 4 times, right? Well, again, it's a fraction. Don't panic, okay? Essentially, we're just taking the top. We'll take it's -2 times -2 times -2 times -2, right? So think 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, right? I have an even number of negative signs, so that means that answer is going to be positive, 16. And the bottom, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27, 27 times 3 is 81. Again, even number of negative signs, so our answer is going to be 16/81. Okay, and we'll try one of those. I'll give you one more example. All right, let's just letter D, pretty easy. It'd be 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 gives you 256, and so forth. I'm not sure it's worth the time to go through this. Again, when you have negatives, okay, to give you a quick little hint here, when you have an even exponent, so 6 is even, and my base is negative, my answer is going to be positive. Okay, if I have an odd exponent and my base is negative, my answer is going to be negative. Okay. Let's look at number 4. 2 word problems here. It says the deck of a skateboard has an area of 2 to the 5th power times 7 square inches. What is the area of the skateboard deck? Well, if we know area, what's given us area? So we just have to basically extend this out. So it would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 7, right? And 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32. So we have 32 times 7, which gives us 224 inches squared. Okay. And the same thing at the bottom. Same thing in this last one here. 2/3 is 2 times 2 times 2, right? Times 3 times 5 times 5 times 7. Okay. So let's simplify this. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, times 3 times 5 is 25 times 7. Okay. Feel free to use a calculator. You can maybe you can do this in your head. Okay. Answer 4,200 square feet. If you see something like this, essentially these are evaluating each expression. It gives you the values of a and b. So you just go in here and substitute. So instead of a squared, it would be 3 squared plus 5 squared. So it would be 3 squared is 3 times 3, 9 plus 25, which is 36. Okay. Pretty simple, right? Let's look at this last one here, just so, again, I'm going to substitute. So you would have 3 minus 5 squared, all right? So in this case, it would be, what's 3 minus 5? 3 minus 5 is negative 2 squared. That's negative 2 times negative 2, which would be a positive 4. Pretty simple. I know I went through that pretty quickly, but just give you a quick baseline of some powers and exponents and how they work. Again, first of 3 videos I'm going to post on YouTube today for you. You have a quick 10-question assignment on Edge Elastic. If you have any questions, email me. Take care.